Brandy, once they have a one-page strategy, where does it actually come to life day to day?
That's where the real work starts. I like to remind clients and teams of this often, that the real work starts when you have to start executing on that plan. I think the best way to do this, we call this leadershiping process, and that's bringing the future to the present. And so realizing that the future is coming, no matter what you do to stop it, tomorrow is coming. And that means that it's coming for your business as well. And so, yes, we get bogged down in our day to day. We feel like this is mission critical. We've got to do this today. We've got to attack this today. It's equally as important to be thinking about what the future is bringing for the business and what are you doing today to bring alignment and clarity for your team for the future. That's the big key to kicking this off. A lot like what Jan was saying, keeping it alive every day, whether you have it on your desk, whatever it may be, but to make sure that especially as a leader, you are bringing that team back every day to some higher picture thinking and you're not just getting bogged down in the day to day.
I think one of the biggest things that I've seen, I worked a lot in the banking industry before, and one of the things that I saw repeatedly was there was a nice, effective strategic plan that no one knew about. The employees weren't told. They knew the mission, they knew the vision. Those were posted all over the banks, but you did not see a strategic plan that was provided to employees. And so I think it's very important that your staff members who can at least impact some of the strategic direction of the company should know what that is. If they don't know what it is, it's really hard to work towards that. And it's hard to be a team member that can contribute towards that. I think it's important to have that be something that you include in your onboarding, especially in a family business, which is usually a pretty tight-knit group. And so that you know exactly where the boat's rowing and what direction you need to row with the boat. And it doesn't get changed along the way and somebody forgets to tell you.
Yeah, let me add to that. And Brandy and I were just meeting with a client yesterday and having this exact conversation, that in order to bring it to today, leadership has to, Brandy calls it, have a strategic mindset. Well, what does that mean? That means that when you're making a decision, you're thinking about how is this decision going to affect our strategy, one of our strategic intents, or how is this consistent or not consistent with our core values or our mission that we have? When we make this hire, is this person going to be accretive to our approach to achieve our mission? When we add a new product line, or when we make an acquisition, or when we discipline an employee, all of that has to line up with our strategy. And that's a difficult transition for operating leaders to make. But you got to exercise that muscle. And the only way to exercise that muscle is by prompting leadership to pause a moment and ask that one question: how is this going to help or hurt our strategy? And the strategy is the vision, the mission, the values, strategic intents. When we say strategy, we mean all of that together. And so if leadership could pause for a moment, ask that question, and then make their decision or then make their announcement. Even when they're writing a memo, right, or making an announcement, a big announcement, how does this demonstrate that we're making progress on our strategic intents? So that's how you have to incorporate it in your day-to-day life and activity, is what Brandy was saying.